Hello! This is the pilot episode for Robots and More Productions, otherwise known as RAMP. RAMP is a community led organization related to robotics and FIRST, run by a dedicated team of students, alumni, volunteers, and mentors. I'm Brian, one of the founders of RAMP alongside Casey and Chris.
I'm Aiden.
And I'm Prajwal. We're two of the hosts.
The other hosts are Drew and Maddie. We're going to be starting out with two podcasts. For now, we're going to have a First History podcast and a Team Spotlight podcast. For the First History podcast, each episode will discuss an important event, segment, longer period in First History, or something of the sort, diving deep into the topic through our hosts. For the Team Spotlight podcast, each episode will discuss an influential first team. Opportunity permitting, we aim to include a special guest from the subject team for the duration of each episode.
Our schedule is to release one episode per week, alternating between the First History podcast and our Team Spotlight podcast, beginning with the First History podcast on May 12th and the Team Spotlight episode for May 19th.
We've got a lot of ideas for how we can expand RAMP in the future. I know personally I'd love to move into other podcast ideas, like possibly a debate podcast talking about controversial first topics, and I know the other hosts and founders have a lot of ideas.
I very much agree with your debate podcast. I'm actually one of the people that helped figure that one out, interestingly enough. I see a lot going on with this organization, and I can't wait to see where this grows more, being a founder and working more of the background of this group.
Yeah, I know Chris, one of the other founders, would love to move into some other platforms such as YouTube and possibly even going to streaming on Twitch to expand into a video presence beyond just a podcasting presence. I know for now we're going to try to stick to podcasts, but video would be nice in the future, especially for things like Champs interviews and some more specialized productions that we may decide to look into in the future. Praj, do you have any comment on that?
Yeah, I think we've been experimenting with a lot of stuff, especially with the debate podcast. And I know we've been talking to teams for potential spotlights, and I think that we can really see behind their, what makes them successful.
If any listener out there has any ideas for teams they'd like to see or teams they might have contacts with that they can help us get in contact with for the purpose of a Team Spotlight podcast, we'd love to hear it, and you can contact us on our Discord or through our website or our various social media platforms such as Twitter and Instagram, Snapchat. We'd love to hear from you about your ideas and if you have any connections with teams.
Personally, I'd love to hear from listeners, and by following our various social media platforms or joining our Discord server, you can participate in special opportunities like voting on future show names and even becoming a host.
Yeah, the participants on our Discord server already picked the name for our history show, and that name will be revealed in the coming week or so.
Yeah, Aiden, actually, the community is voting on the Team Spotlight name in a few days.
Yeah, it looks like we have a lot of great stuff lined up, and I'll be on the show next week with First History, and Prajwal will be on the Team Spotlight show 2 weeks from now on Sunday the 19th. We'll see you next week, so you can answer the question, will you go up the ramp?
Will you go up the ramp?
Will you go up the ramp?